About pen and ink. I have been doing the Strada Easel challenge. The whole September month I did the Strada Easel challenge, and I used pen and ink. That is, I used a water resistant pen, and I used the Inktense blocks, which are from Derwent. And today this session is going to be the same, and I'm going to be doing these 10-minute messy series that I have been doing for the past month. And so we'll be painting this brush, this bottle of masking fluid, this ink. Fine. So the first thing to know about pen and ink is, like, we don't want it to look like an illustration. So that's not the goal. We want it to look a little painterly. So let me just grab a paper. There isn't any. Yeah, okay, so I have this paper, and what are we going to do? So instead of going in with lines like really rigid and stiff lines, we're going to go in with lines which are more wobbly, creating the same thing but with the intention of keeping it really loose. So we could go like, and this adds in more interest. Like, suppose we would say this is a house, a very generic looking house, but let's say we want to make it and we add so much of more dimension into this. Makes it more interesting. So let's start with this bottle of masking fluid. Yeah. So I'll be sketching this out. The sketch is going to be really loose. The target is to try and finish it in 10 minutes. We have the label. And it should be recognizable. So it has to be recognizable, that you can recognize it. Yeah, okay, this is that bottle of masking fluid. So this has some instructions over here. It has these serrations. And we need to keep it really fast. We want to finish it off in 10 minutes. But yes, it should also look like that bottle. We have that name over here of the brand. Mm, 120 ml. All these things that are written over here. You don't need to spell out each thing. Sometimes just a little scribbling will work. And now we're going to color it with ink. Okay, that was a really quick sketch. I think in 3 minutes I tried to finish off the sketch. Now we're going to go in with color. As you can see, this is the bottle that we are trying to paint. And if you have any questions, you can always write them in the chat box. I'd happily answer this. So I'm using the Derwent Inktense blocks. Now I have done a complete review on how you could use these paints, for your daily work, and how it's so travel friendly, and how these Inktense blocks are different from watercolor. So they look quite similar to watercolors and soft pastels, but they are pretty different. They're quite intense. You could, I'll show you, you could also use them like chalk. And I'd like to show you how you could do that. Like suppose you've taken this block and you're like, I want to add it here, and areas where I feel that I need to make, additions. Kind of here. Maybe on the cap. Certain areas. And now I'm going to show you the magic. This is one way of using it. I usually use it like watercolors, but this is also one way where you can use it. And do you see that? Isn't this fabulous? Just wash your brush. Always keep a sponge on the side where you can, remove the water. And then just soften the edges. See, it works wonderfully. Soften the edges, remove, lift colors. Maybe lift it from here too. Love it. Thanks, Piali. Glad you could join in, Piali. Could you write in the chat box, Piali, what kind of work do you do? Hi, Abra. So this is so loose. Now, that was one way, lifting up and using it. You lifting up, just adding in the color over here. And I'll show you how beautifully this. Good, good, good. Abra, so that's, just write in the chat box what kind of art do you do. I would love to know more about it. Abra and Piali, just type in the chat box what kind of work you do, and I'd like to know more about it. So we have a little bit of that. Anime, that's fantastic. So this is like, you've got it. It needs a good shadow. Now usually I try to use complementary colors for shadows. That just adds so much more fun to it. So just going in with a complementary color for the shadow and just softening that. Hey, that's amazing, Abra. Thank you so much. And you know what I really love doing, Abra? I enjoy something which is called as a splatter, and that didn't work in the first time, but that's okay. If it didn't work again, it is going to work later on, and that just adds so much drama. Can you see that? That's so fantastic. I'm just wiping off the remaining because I'm going to do another painting over there. Now we've done with the basic, okay? Let's add some more fun into it. I'm going to be taking black and just writing that name very loosely. I don't want it to look like, oh my God, she's written it so clearly. And do you see that spread? That's fantastic. And we have something written here just to make it look. Yes, can you see that how fantastic this looks? Looks like this bottle over here. So painted it live, adding in more drama. Always add some more drama. Drama is always so much fun. Can you see that? Just adding some more darker colors. Perfect. You could also do one more thing is, you could blend that with a little water to make it look, and let that water just flow. I think this is fantastic, but let's go in with a little bit of darker color out here to make it look like it's going in the shadow. Yay, you're back. So yeah, just adding this. Fine, so we're done with this. Let's not waste too much time on this. We're done with the first thing. Now this is one of my favorite brushes. I have painted it, and we're going to be painting this now. Washing all my brushes till then, and this is the next target. Now how do you go about with it? Now what do you do? Now I've just placed it like that, so that's how I'm going to be drawing. Maybe I'll draw it over here. Now I'm using a 0.05. Now why do I use a very thin micron tip? Because I want to keep it loose. I want some irregularities. I don't want it to look perfect like an illustration. I guess in anime you try to do a lot of illustration, but I want it to look more painterly. Okay, so yeah, so maybe I'll go like this. No, let's go like this. So we have, and and we are going to go in with trying to get everything in, but keeping it loose. So we've got, oh sorry, let's keep it like this. So we've got the drawing. That's it, not too much. Maybe just draw the flowers too, because they're looking cute. We have another one here. And another one here. Oh, so what do you draw with? Abra, what do you draw with? I would love to know. What are your tools? What do you use to make anime art? So we're kind of done with this. So what kind of tools do you use? So we've got this. Now we're going to be starting with the coloring. Now again, we're going to keep it really loose. I'm going to go in with the yellow. I'm going to have certain spots which are going to show light. So I'm going to go like, very irregular. Okay, also. Now, immediately I'm going to add in also, I'm going to go in with a little bit of the browns for the fun of it. Okay, marker brushes and mechanical pencils. Oh, yeah, because I guess you have a lot of detailed work to do. There's a lot of details in your work. And we have a little bit of that color spreading out, maybe adding in some more. It also has a little bit of the green, I feel. Let's go with a little bit of the olive green. See, it's kind of dirty and it has this green color. So let's go in with a little bit of that green. And we'll go in with more colors later on. Now we're not going in with too much color. Also, we're going with with a little bit of gray. Let's have some shiny. Oh yeah, that's kind of good. I'm not using watercolors. I'm using something which is known as the Inktense blocks, Abra. Now, Inktense blocks are slightly different from watercolors, and I have done a complete review on my channel under the name of the Derwent Inktense blocks. They are more permanent and they are more intense. They're more, vibrant colors, and that's the fun of it. That they're quite dark. And you can see they could go really dark with it. They're really juicy. The colors are vibrant, super hot. And you can add in lots of layers with them. Now let's go in with, we'll go with the shadows in the end. Let's go with the flowers, and I'm going to shift into, they are more like the soft pastels. You can also lift and use them, and I'll show you that in a minute, how you could lift them and use them. Before that, we'll just go in with a little bit of that blue flowers. And yeah. And you can see that they're still too wet. But I'm going ahead because I have a 10-minute timer for each. Can't go more than that. Maybe just go in with the dots. Cool. Now, I'll show you what I was talking about. I'm going to go in with this and okay, now I've used it as a chalk, and now let me show you something. Isn't this gorgeous? It's got that stunning dark violet, and you could just soften the edge and create a really nice shadow. Wow, we have a lovely shadow here. Let's add some of this here as a shadow. Yes, it started looking so good, right? Now we could also do one thing, is we could add in some kind of lines to show that we have and you know what, instead of doing this, why not take this, and this will create some really fine lines. And now take that yellow and let's go in with some of that yellow, some of that dirty green. More yellow. A darker brown over here. And I think, yeah, that's quite nice. Keeping it really loose. The second one is done in half an hour. We finished 2, 1 and 2. I think I like this better. Maybe we could just add in some colors for fun. Just adding in some colors for fun. Making it look slightly dirty. Maybe add in a little bit of the green too. So it's like, it's not a really clean brush or a new brush. It's got some colors on it. And going in with shadow over here. Also, we could go in with some more darker shadows to show right? That looks much better. Yeah. It's okay, Abra. As long as you're creating art and enjoying it, that's the fun part of it. So we've like, okay, this is done, this is done. You've done 2 in half an hour. And both have gone pretty decent. Let's do some splatter over here, just for the fun of it. I love splatter, so let's go in with a little bit of yellow for the splatter. And now we're going to be showing the splatter just at the brush tip to show that there is some color which has cool, isn't that? We could also do one thing where we take the brush and we like yeah, that's good. Let's shift on to the last target today for today, this Liquitex ink bottle. This is one of my favorite inks, and these are acrylic inks. And again, we're going to go with the drawing. So let's start with the drawing, and for that drawing, we're going to be really quick. Yeah, just arranging it. So we have the cap, and that's the cap. I use it for basically my paintings. It's quite a transparent, vibrant ink, so it's very helpful to add more layers. Yeah, since it's glass, it's usually having, you know, this thing. It has a label which extends from here to here. The label has make some things which are, which you can read, and most of the stuff you don't need to make it. Okay, and here we have, yeah, too much time wasted in drawing. Let's keep it a little bit loose. Now it has a nice orange color. Also, wait, I forgot one more thing. It has this okay. So we have something like, let's do it in a different style. Let's just start with water. So we have water, which is going to be here, maybe a bit over here. Now it's glass. So we're going to keep it loose. And we have a yellow, orange color. We have oh, brush. They are lovely. The brush pens are lovely. Going in with an orange red to darken certain areas. Now the top has black, but I'm going in with a really dark purple, and we're going to be like, and I'm going to be using the thinner brush now to create these beautiful shadows. That's nice. That's got a nice, if you can create a light and dark, that just helps so much to make it look more real. And again, going with that same color, I'm going to write over here, ink 250 ml US. That's it. Hi. Hi, Umesh. So yeah, we are nearly on the end. Let's create again, now going in with a little more darker orange and adding it in certain areas like here. more orange now, just to make it. And what else can we do? Maybe add in some more. Oops, it was too wet. Doesn't matter. Sometimes if you feel you've added too much, just take a tissue and wipe it off. Let's add in some more shadow. Give it a nice shadow. So we have it in orange. Let's go for a blue shadow. Or maybe an orange shadow only, but slightly darker. Just showing you. Just came at the edge of the book. Take a tissue, reduce the brightness, and we have quite a thing. Take a bit of orange. We could show there is ink dropped everywhere. Adding in some nice fun into it. So yeah, that is all for today. Abra and Umesh and Piali, thanks for joining in. And we did this brush, and we did this. I think my favorite would be this one. I really love this one. Write down in the comments which is your favorite. If you try out this, do tag me on Instagram. I'd love to share your work in my stories. Bye bye till then. Love you. Meet me for the next live, which is going to be on Saturday evening. Bye bye. See ya. Have a great day and keep creating magic. Bye bye.